For our next video, we're going to continue looking at right triangle trigonometry. But now, instead of solving for missing sides, we're going to solve for missing angles. So for the first one, we're going to solve for theta. Now remember, theta is like our variable for angles, right? It is spelled theta, right? And it's just a circle with a little bit of a line through it, okay? This is not the no solution symbol, okay? Those are two different things. Right, so we want to solve for theta. Just like before, we have to figure out how our sides relate to our angle. Right, so here's my angle theta. This 10 is opposite the angle, and this 27 is opposite the right angle, so that's the hypotenuse. So I'm given the opposite side and the hypotenuse. Our trig function that works with opposite and hypotenuse is sine. Right, so sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm just going to write an equation like we've done before. So I'm going to say sine of theta equals opposite 10 over hypotenuse 27. Right? Now, before I would have a variable on the top or on the bottom, so I could just simply multiply or divide, whatever I need to do to get the variable by itself. Now, I have to cancel out this sign. Right? Well, the way we cancel it is using something called an inverse trig function. So the inverse of sine is just inverse sine, right? So sine to the negative 1. So I'm going to take the inverse sine of both sides. So I'm going to take the inverse sine of this and the inverse sine of this, right? This goes away. Our sines cancel. So I'm left with theta equals the inverse sine of 10 over 27. Go to your calculator. Right, make sure it's in degree mode. So to put it in degree mode, you press mode, third line, make sure degree is highlighted. Right, just like we have sine, cosine, tangent right down here above the comma and parentheses, we have sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tan inverse. Right above it. So to get to those, we have to first press second. So I'm going to go second sine to get sine inverse, and then I'm just going to type in 10 divided by 27. Right, so theta is 21.74. We're finding a missing angle, so it's going to be degrees. For the next example, I'm trying to find theta up here, and I'm given a side of 25 and a side of 5. This 5 is opposite, this 25 is adjacent, so I have to use tangent. So I can write my equation, tan theta equals opposite 5 over adjacent 25. I want to cancel out that tan, so I'm going to take the inverse tan. Right, tangent goes away, so I'm left with theta equals inverse tan of 5 over 25. Or you can simplify that to 1 over 5, it doesn't matter. Go to your calculator. I go second tan, 5 divided by 25, I get 11.31, right? So theta equals 11.31 degrees. And for the last one, I have theta down here, I have 42 and 35. This 42 is the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle, and the 35 is adjacent to my theta. Right, so adjacent hypotenuse means I have to use cosine. So my equation would be cosine of theta equals adjacent 35 over hypotenuse 42. You got to take an inverse cosine of both sides. My cosine over here cancels out. I'm left with theta equals inverse cosine of 35 over 42. Go to the calculator, second cosine, 35 divided by 42. So I get theta equals 33.56 degrees. So now we can solve for missing sides and missing angles in our triangle.